Today is payday, so let's go ahead and budget my bi-weekly paycheck using the cashless budgeting system. Let's get right into it. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Nikki. If you are returning, welcome back. Y'all know how this go. Every single time that I am paid, I like to come over here and do a paycheck budget routine with you so I can show you how I'm budgeting my money. So the first thing I do is I write everything on paper. I am a paper and pen type of girl at heart. Then once I write it on paper, I come over to my spreadsheet and put everything in the spreadsheet, because sometimes your girl numbers don't be numbering. It don't be adding up correctly. So that's where the spreadsheet comes into play, and it helps me to see percentage wise how much am I spending on my home, on my bills, how much am I spending percentage wise on expenses, savings, and those types of things. So today we only going to be focusing on the workbook. I want to walk you through my process on how I budget my bi-weekly paycheck, and basically how I make this a cashless budgeting system. So the very first thing I do, of course, is I come to the monthly calendar. This tells me everything that I need to know. This tells me who has a birthday this month. This tells me what holidays are this month, or this tells me anytime that I got to spend some money and what day I'm going to be spending the money, what is actually due, how much I'm actually budgeting for it, stuff like that. It tells me everything I need to know when it comes to spending money. Now, everything that you see highlighted is my paycheck. So if I'm paid on December 5th, everything highlighted in the blue is going to be taken care of with that paycheck. And then basically that's where the paycheck budget worksheet comes into play, where now I'm going to take everything that's highlighted in blue from this calendar portion, and I'm going to put it on the paycheck budget worksheet. So that's what I'm going to be walking you through today. So let's get right into it. So the very first thing, you're going to put your date, and the date that I'm actually paid is December 5th. So we put that there. And then now we're going to focus on the income section. Like, so now we need to know how much money do we have coming in and how much money are we budgeting for this pay period. So for me, I like to sit down with my budget workbook and fill this stuff out on Thursday, the day before I'm actually paid. So that way, when I wake up in the morning, I know exactly what it is that I need to be focusing on, or what I can do, or how much money I have to do other things. Because y'all know you can wake up on Friday and you see that money in your account, then you go spending that money and you don't even know what's supposed to be coming out, what bills are due, and those types of things. So on Thursday, I put my remaining balance on my worksheet. So I budgeted the lowest amount that I've ever received. So the lowest amount that I can have remaining in my checking account is $0, but I actually had $823.22 remaining in my account. Then next, I budget out my paycheck. My lowest paycheck is I budget $2,100, but my paycheck was actually $2,151.82. Now y'all know I just got a cost of living adjustment, just got a little bit of a raise from my job. My job, we get about 4 raises per year, so I love that about the post office. So that's the reason for the increase there. Now with my content money, usually I don't include my content creator money on my worksheet, because those are two separate things. I don't mix business with my personal stuff or whatever like that, but I wanted to start including that with my budget so you guys can see how I actually separate my content creator money from my personal money and stuff like that, and I can just walk you through that. So the lowest amount that I can receive from content is $0, but I actually received $7,949.78 this pay period. So that brings me to a total income for this pay period of $10,924.82. So now when you see, if you was to see that amount of money in your checking account or wherever you have your money going, I know you will be starting to swipe that card and thinking that you got all this stuff going on, and you ain't even looking at, okay, well, mortgage and utilities is right around the corner again come January, or you got to get food and gas, and the aftercare fees, your son is playing basketball, that you got to put $75 aside for that. You not thinking about that until you get that email and they say, oh, past due, or due today, or due tomorrow, that type of thing, and now you're scrambling trying to figure out where did the money go, because you just had $10,000. So here's where I break it all the way down. Everything that you see on the calendar highlighted in blue is what I actually put on my worksheet. Now, I like to prioritize my budget. So I'm not just writing any and everything down. I'm writing this down strategically. I budget from the most priority to the least priority. So I'm always going to start off with saving some money. I don't care what is due. I'm going to save a little bit of money first before I do anything. And I make sure of that because that stuff comes out of my paycheck before the money is even deposited into my account. So even if it's not enough money, retirement already has gotten this portion. Investing has already gotten this portion, and I'm just gonna have to just make it work. I'm just gonna have to figure it out from this standpoint, because I can't just go to retirement and pull that money out. I can't just go to thrift savings plan and just pull that money out. It's already been sent, so I would just have to tough it out or whatever. So this is exactly what I do. I list everything out from the most priority to the least priority. So retirement, investing, Roth IRA, aftercare fees for my son, gas, food, short-term disability, Google storage, the basketball fees for my son, because my son is joining the basketball team at his school, and then chiropractor. Those are all of my bills and expenses for this pay period that's going to be coming out, or that I'm going to be taking care of with this paycheck. Now I add up everything, and everything comes up to $1,463.50, and this is where I take or do a zero-based budget, and I take my income and I subtract all of my expenses just to see how much do I have left, because now we're getting into, okay, well, how much money do I have to spend? Can your girl buy her some shoes this pay period? Can your girl go buy her a frappe this pay period? Although your girl has been drinking iced coffee at home, but that doesn't, I'd still be getting my frappes too. But I drink my iced coffee at home. I've been learning to do that as well. But I have been spending on a frappe. I'm not even going to lie about that. But this is where basically my fun spending comes into play. So now once I take my income and subtract all of my expenses, I am left with $9,461.32. So now I try to look ahead. What all do I have coming up that I can take care of today that may not be due until next month or whatever like that? So this is where I put aside half of the mortgage and utilities. I have so much money left that I could just go ahead and pay the whole entire mortgage and utilities. I set aside $1,750 for that. But in my mind, I'm already used to every single time that I get paid, I'm going to take out $875 and put it in a savings account until it's time to transfer that $1,750 into the joint checking account for the mortgage and utilities. So that's exactly what I'm just going to be sticking with. I'm just going to take out $875 and put that to the side for my half of the mortgage and utilities for January. Then also, we all know that Christmas is coming up. It's December 25th. Now, I haven't done any Christmas shopping just yet, but of course I'm gonna be doing it. So I want to budget $500 for Christmas. This is just for gifts. I'm still gonna buy my son shoes and clothes. I don't necessarily kind of like call that Christmas or whatever, because I just do the shopping, his winter shopping around this time or whatever, so that I can get the better deals and stuff like that. So I'm not going to include his clothing with that. This is just stuff that I may see that, some toys or something that he had wanted or something like that. I'm going to include that in my $500 Christmas budget. Now, once I add up everything comes up to, now when I add up everything and I take the income and I subtract all of the expenses, I am left with $8,086.32. Now, this is where I actually subtract out the content creator income. So $8,086.32 subtract $7,949.78. I am left with $136.54. So that's all that's going to be left in my main checking account, $136.54. Now, this is what I do when it comes to my content creator money. So this money is not already sitting in my main checking account. This money is already sitting in my business account and in my PayPal account, because I did two different things. So $5,900 of this money actually came from LTK. All of my LTK deposits, we get paid every single Friday. That money goes directly into my business account, because this is a business for me when I'm doing my affiliate marketing and things like that. Now, I also did have two brand deals where I worked with Walmart through LTK, and that money actually went into my PayPal account, because majority of the time when you're doing brand deals, they want you to have a PayPal account, which is totally fine. That $2,000 is sitting in my PayPal account. So that's totally fine, which both of them are linked to the same business, business account that I actually have, because both of it is a part of the business. So what I actually do when it comes to like my business or content creator money, I like to break that money up into 4 different portions, because the math just is easier doing it that way. I don't necessarily know if it's the right thing to do or whatever, because I haven't necessarily filed taxes through this business just yet. But right now, currently, 25% goes into a high yield saving account or just a savings account. I don't know if it's actually a high yield savings account. Whatever the Navy Federal Business Savings Account is, 25% actually, I take out 25% of whatever I'm making every time that I get a deposit. This is not, you could do it at the end of the month if you want to, but I do it as soon as the money hit. So if I got $5,900 that hit my account, 25% of that goes directly. I transfer that stuff immediately because I don't want to get that stuff confused and I don't want to get it mixed up. So I transfer 25% every single time that I get paid out through content creation into my savings account. Then I use 25% into the business for as like I am a fashion content creator. So of course I gotta be sharing outfits. I gotta be sharing different things. I market for different brands and stuff like that. It could be Walmart, it could be Shein, it could be Target, Old Navy, whatever brand that I choose to market for. Those are where I actually shop. I shop with my own money. If it's a brand deal, of course they, provide the stuff and stuff like that. But sometimes the brand, like the Walmart brand deal through LTK, I had to provide my own stuff. I had to shop for my own items if I choose to. You could, you don't have to go out and spend money, or whatever, but you can use the products that you already have in your home that you gotten from these places that is still being sold. You can use those as well. But sometimes, majority of the time, because I'm always going to the grocery store and I'm always getting gas at Walmart, I'm usually peeking into Walmart and seeing what's new, what's, what value that, what can I show my audience that may bring them value, and showing them like, okay, well, hey y'all, they got these on sales, like those gray sweatsuits, like these right here. These are super comfortable if you are a mom, if you are on a budget. They are $12 a piece. They had this for the cyber deal, and I shared that online, and people literally appreciated that. And in return, they bought something. I got a commission from those orders. So if you are interested in that set, by the way, I will tag it down below for you, just in case you are interested. But that's what I actually do when it comes to like my fashion stuff. So I take out 25% for that. Then I also take out 25% and I give it to myself. So usually when I was in debt, I was using this money to, put towards the debt. But now that I don't really have any debt, I just have my student loans and I have my house. Y'all know, or maybe you don't know, my student loans are in the public service loan forgiveness program. So I'm just waiting to get to that 120 payments. I'm currently at 87 payments on majority of the loans and 67 payments on some of the loans. So I'm literally almost there, over the halfway mark. So I'm just going to let that ride on out. And then for my house, I've been in this house just a year. Before, I was so like caught up on like just getting the house paid off. But I think I'm just at a point where I just want to save some money, because you just never know what may happen with these jobs. And then also I'm just at a point where I'm 41 years old, and as soon as it's time for me to retire, I want to be able to retire. Or if I choose to do it a little bit earlier because I have so much money saved up, I want to be able to do that, because there are so many people that's at my job that can literally retire but is choosing to still work. I don't want to do that. I feel like when it's time for me to retire, I want to go ahead and retire, so that way I can focus solely on what it is that I want to do, and that's like doing content or whatever like that. So I have to save money to make sure that I'm still able to pay the bills every single month that they come. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to start just saving money. So with my 25% that I'm going to be giving myself out of the business, I'm going to be putting that into my savings, and then the rest of the money just stays in the account for the bills and the expenses. And my bills and expenses is nowhere near 25% of this money. Like my bills, I think probably come up to maybe $200, if that, every single month, because y'all know this content creation stuff, it's like it's like the lowest, what do you call it? I don't really have any bills for it. The lowest overhead, I guess you would call it. The lowest overhead to spend. If you have a shop, then you may have to pay rent at a shop. You have to pay a light bill at a shop or something like that. But here with content creation, because I do it out of my house and stuff like that, I don't have many bills. Only thing that I actually really pay are like different subscriptions and stuff like that. And that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much how I budget out my bi-weekly paycheck using the cashless budgeting system. I don't use cash envelopes. As you can see, this has literally really helped me with the different checking accounts and stuff like that, and having everything separate. And it has literally been a game changer. I don't know how much more I can say it. I'm going to continue on sharing my budget and sharing with you how I actually budget out my paychecks. But if you are interested in any of my budgeting material, I do have a budgeting bundle where it comes with the budget workbook if you are a paper and and pen type of girl, it comes with a budget spreadsheet. If you are a digital girl, or if you want to do them together, you can actually do the budget workbook digitally as well. You can write it in your iPad if you have one. It also comes with a debt tracker and a savings tracker, because of course your girl was once in credit card debt and she was trying to pay these credit cards off, and that literally helped me to see how much, what was the remaining balance and how much more was the minimum payment, and different things. So the debt tracker, savings tracker definitely will help you. You need the whole entire bundle together in your financial journey. 2026 is coming up, y'all. You don't want to be left behind, and you don't want to be left behind broke. You know what I'm saying? You want to know exactly where your money is going so that you can start saving some money too. But that's all for this video. Everything that I said in this video, like I said, if you're interested in that matching set, if you're interested in my budget bundle, everything will be tagged below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.